X is pretty easy to find. We know this is 16 feet across here. That's 16 feet. 36 minus 16 is 20, so that gives us 10 feet and 10 feet, right? So X is 10 feet. Oh, gotcha. W. We're going to find W off of this triangle here. I'll draw it over here. If this is 10 feet, gentlemen, this is 8 over 12. So we have 8 over 12 equals X over 10. Very good. Which is 80 divided by 12, otherwise known as 6 foot and 2/3, so it's 8 inches. 6.66666, that's 6 foot 8. Plus our 28 inches here. 28 is 2'4". So that's 12, which is going to be 0 carry the 1. That's a 9-foot ceiling for the wall. We could, but let's just do the whole. We've got 18 feet here, right, for J? We're going to need it to find H anyway. So we've got 18 feet there. We're going to call that Y on an 812. 8 over 12 equals blank over 18. If we cross multiply and divide, we get 12 feet. So that's 12 feet plus 12 feet 0 inches plus 2 feet 4 inches. That's the 28. That is going to be 14 feet 4 inches. So the overall height is 14 feet 4 inches. That one's going to have to be piggybacked, by the way, because 13.4, I think, is the maximum you can still ship. 13.4 or 13.8 in Wisconsin. But anyway, we can find J now off of this triangle. This is J. It'll be the square root of 18 squared plus 12 squared. Giving us 21.633. So that is 21 feet. Subtract the 21. What do we do next? Times 12 to make it inches. That's 7 inches. Then what? Perfect. Subtract 7 and then times 16. 9.5, which is 10/16, or 5/8 of an inch. So 21 feet, 7 5/8 inches. What do you think? Good stuff? So are all of you done up through number 68 in the packet now? 65 is a start at least. That might be the one we did in class yesterday. Okay. So we talked about those dual slope trusses yesterday. We did that. 69? Okay, 69 is actually one of the more difficult ones. Oh, let's do this. These are different numbers. Now let's do this. We'll do 48 feet, make this a little easier. So we have a dual slope truss here. The only information I am giving you is that this is a 48-foot total span end to end, and we have a 312 slope on one side and 912 on the other. We want to know X, Y, H, and there's going to be a J1 and a J2 here to find. But first, we've got to figure out X and Y. Now, this is where we step this up a notch, just so you guys know. we have to look at, finding x and y, we have to look at what things are constant. So I'm going to write out what I know. What do I know about x plus y? It equals 48. That is one equation. Now we need to come up with another way of expressing a relationship between x and y. And we're actually going to have to do a couple of different equations to do this. We're going to start out with this triangle right here. In that triangle, this is x and this height is h. This slope is 312, correct? So what that gives us is 3 over 12 is equal to h over x, rise over run. Well, we've talked about cross multiplying. Here we're going to cross multiply. This direction is 12h, and in this direction is 3x. We know that 3x equals 12h. Now what? Well, we're going to go one more step. We're going to actually solve this for x. We're going to divide by 3 to get that x equals 4h. Now, we're going to look at the other side. On the other side of this thing, we have this triangle. That triangle, we have h and y, and it has a slope of 912. So we know that 9 over 12 equals h over y. And then cross multiply. 12h, 9y. So 9y equals 12h. Oops, h, not y. And we're going to solve for y by dividing by 9. Y equals, that's 4/3 h. So that comes out to be, or 1 1/3 if you want to write it that way. Why are those useful? Because it allows us to come up here and take this equation that has two variables in it and change it so it only has one variable in it. X equals what? 4h. Y equals 1 1/3 h. So now we only have one variable. This is a system of equations. We just used x plus y equals 48 and x equals 4h. It's actually a three variable system of equations like we did at the end of last semester. So now we've substituted in to make it one variable. We're going to combine 4h and 1 1/3 h is 5 1/3 h equals 48. And we're going to divide by 5 1/3. You got it. H equals what? 9. You got it. So that's telling us that height is 9 feet. Well, what good does that do us? Well, if h is 9, x is 4h, or 4 times 9, or 36 feet. So this is 36 feet. Y is 1 1/3 h, so 1 1/3 times 9, or exactly 12 feet. So we've got h is 9, we've got x is 36, y is 12. Now we can find J1 and J2. J1 is going to be the square root of 36 squared plus 9 squared. Giving us 31.108. Is it 37? Yeah, you're right. 37.108. Thank you. J2 is the square root of 9 squared plus 12 squared, which is going to be 15 feet. So that's not so bad, is it? It's something called the lever method, where you look at the ratios of slopes is equal to the ratio of spans. Or, yeah, it's actually an inverse ratio. You've got your slope here of x and y. It's actually 3 times x equals 9 times y. You can go off of that. Yeah. Well, you've got your ratio of slopes is 3 to 9. Now, even though 3 goes with x, it's an inverse ratio, so x goes on bottom, y goes on top. So it's an inverse ratio. But usually I write it as 3 times x equals 9 times y. That makes more sense to me. Slope times the run equals slope times run. That's your height on both sides. So that works as well. Let's have you guys try one here. This is going to be a 1612 slope. This is going to be a 312 slope. Oh, that's no fun. And a 57-foot total span. 57 feet. Find X, Y, and H. I'm going to assume at this point you can find J1 and J2, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to give you about 4 minutes to find X, Y, and H. So, looking at this one, what do we know? What do we know about X and Y, guys? X plus Y equals 57. Okay? So then we have here, so 16 over 12 equals H over X, which of course gives us perfect. 12H equals 16X. We're going to divide by 16 to get that 3/4 H equals X. Right? Then on the other side, perfect. Y equals 4H. You are correct. Divide by 3, 4H equals Y, or Y equals 4H. So we go up here, 3/4 H and 4H equals 57. This is 4 and 3/4 H equals 57. We divide by 4 and 3/4, we get H equals 12 feet. X is then 3/4 of H. 3/4 times 12 equals 9. And Y equals 4H. 4 times 12 equals 48. Not bad at all, right? Now, Mason had that little trick of, well, we know that it's an inverse ratio. 3 and 16 add up to 19. So 3/19 times 57 gives us the 9, and 16/19 times 57 gives us the 48. Well, what if I do this to you? Where this is 18 inches and this over here is 8 inches. Oh, it's not so bad. I'm going to adjust this just a little bit. So we've got 9, 12, and 4/12. Let's We're going to call this a 22-foot span. What on earth would we do here? Okay, well, we've got a little work to do here. We still know that x plus y equals 22. That part hasn't changed. But what has changed is the triangles we're going to use. We're still going to use this triangle. This is x, but this is not h, is it? H minus, we're going to put it as 18 over 12, right? Now that does come out to 1.5. And that is a slope of 9/12. So we do have 9 over 12 equals h minus 18 over 12 over x. There's a reason why I left that as h minus 18 over 12, because when I multiply by 12, it's going to do some work for us. So here we have 12 times h minus 18 over 12 equals 9 times x. Well, 12 times 12 is, or 12 times h is 12h. 12 times negative 18 over 12, the 12s just cancel out, it's just negative 18. Equals 9x. Does that make sense so far? What's that? I divide by 9. 12 divided by 9 is 1 1/3 h. 18 divided by 9 is negative 2. So x is 1 1/3 h minus 2. The other side, this triangle. Well, this is y. This is h minus 8/12 of a foot with a 4/12 slope. So we have 4 over 12 equals h minus 8 over 12 over y. If I multiply this way, of course, that's 4y. Multiply this way, that's 12 times h minus 8/12. We'll distribute that 12 again. Gives us 12h. 12 times negative 8/12 is just a negative 8. Because 4y. And we'll divide by 4. So 3h minus 2 equals y. So back up here. This is 1 1/3 h minus 2 plus, what was it, 3h? 3h minus 2 equals 22. Now what? Well, we're going to combine what we can before we solve. 1 1/3 plus 3 is 4 1/3 h. We're going to combine negative 2 and negative 2 is negative 4. And yes, now to solve it, we are going to do just that. We're going to add 4. So 4 1/3 h equals 26. And then divide by 4 1/3. Gives us h equals 6, right? H equals 6. So now x, 1 1/3 h minus 2 equals x. So 1 1/3 h times 6 is 8 minus 2 equals x. So x equals 6, right? 3h, 3 times 6 minus 2 equals y. 3 times 6 is 18 minus 2. So y equals 16. 6, 16. Those do add up to 22, so we're good to go, right? What do you think? Fun stuff? Yeah. Time for you guys to try one. What's that? You got her? Oh, let's see here. We got to make this fun for you. What's that? I did doing repair work on them, yes. A lot of storefronts. Like a lot of storefronts will have the steep storefront and then the extended back. Now, this is actually simple having it level. A lot of them actually look like this. They've got a flat spot and then they're vaulted down to a lower wall and back. Those are not fun. Let's see. We're going to make this 12 inches here. And let's make this up here. We'll make it 20. Yeah, let's make it 30 inches. What the heck? 30 inches. So we've got X, we've got Y. We're only going to go 24 feet here. I'll let you guys give this a shot. We'll pause for. Okay, so let's get to the height here. We know that X plus Y equals 24, correct? Okay, we also know then over here, if I label this H, I don't know why I didn't label that, that blue triangle, this is X and this is H minus 30 over 12, correct? This slope is 10, 12. Does that make sense? You look confused. Because that's 30 inches, so I'm dividing by 12 to convert it into feet. Okay. Do you want me to give you a few minutes to work from there then? Keep going? Okay. Okay, so going this way, we've got 10x. Going this way, we've got 12 times h minus 30 over 12. We're going to distribute. We've got 12h minus 30 equals 10x. Divide by 10. 1.2h minus 3 equals x. On the other side, we've got y and h minus 12 over 12, right? And a 4/12 slope. So 4/12 equals h minus 12 over 12 over y. This way we've got 4y. This way we've got 12 times h minus 12 over 12. Now the reason I always leave that as over 12, like I said, instead of reducing it to 1, is I know it's going to multiply out when I distribute here. 12 times h is 12h. 12 times negative 12 over 12 is a negative 12. Equals our 4y. And we divide by 4. 3h minus 3 equals y. So x is 1.2h minus 3, plus y is 3h minus 3 equals 24. 3. So I divided it by 10. 30 divided by 10 gives me 3. For y, I had 12, but it was divided by 4. You're doing it in inches then. So you'd have to convert that. You'd have to divide them by 12 to make them feet. So that was the problem, is you left them in inches because you didn't have the over 12 here. Because that would work if you change this into 288 inches instead of 24 feet. Then it would work. You get your answer in inches. But you got to keep all your units consistent. Since one unit is in feet, everything else has to be in feet, or everything has to be in inches, one of the two. So now 1.2 and 3 make 4.2 H. Negative 3 and negative 3 make negative 6 equals 24. We'll add 6. 4.2 H equals 30. And then divide by 4.2. H equals 7.14285714286, right? 7 1/7 feet. So X is 1.2H minus 3, right? So we're going to go times 1.2 minus 3. That is 5 and 4/7, right? Y is 3H. So 3 times 7 1/7 minus 3 equals Y. So that's 21 and 3/7, 18 and 3/7 that would come out to be, equals Y. Now, obviously, what you would have to do is you would take that 18 and 3/7, and you would say you'd take out the 18 feet, you'd subtract the 18 times 12 to make it 5 inches, subtract the 5, and then times 16 to make it 2 2/16 or 1/8 inch. So that's 18, 5 and 1/8. This is 5 foot 6 7/8. No cheering? Just kidding. A similar setup. No, we'll switch to something totally different now. Porch truss. A porch truss is where they take a truss that would have fit on a regular roof, and then normally what they would do is they just take that regular common truss and they would put 2x6s or 2x8s out to put a porch roof out there. Well, they build it right into the roof. So instead of needing a support wall out here, they build it right in. So if they set these on top of the main walls, that porch will free float out there and they don't have to have supports out there at the end of the porch. What's that? Then you get a whole dual slope. Yeah. So it's straight down. And if you're going, and actually a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll just do a common truss without an end bearing. So it's an overhanging truss. So your bearing is just right here. But a lot of people want that look of the added on porch. So that's what this is for. It's strictly for looks. Yeah. Yeah, this is actually pretty common. But like I said, some people want this look over here of that added on porch, the different slope roof of the porch. It does end up being an ice dam, that's for sure. There are regulations. Of course, this being 312 pitch anyway, you'd have to have ice guard on that whole slope. Anything under 412 is required. Is it 412 or 312 and under? I can't, between 3 and 4, I don't remember anymore. I know that if it's 312 and under, it has to have ice dam, but I don't remember if it's less than 4 or if it's 312 and under. Anyway, let's take a look at what we can do with this. Let's see here. What do I want to put on here? That works. So let's say this whole thing is going to be 39 feet. And I am going to give you that this here to here is 18 feet. Got to give you something. So I'm going to find h, x, and y. H is really simple to find here, isn't it? 9 over 12 equals h over 18. Cross multiply and divide, you get that h is 13 and a half. 13 feet 6 inches for h. That's because you saw me map it out. So anyway, we're looking at these two triangles now. I'm going to label this A and this B. We know A plus B equals 13 and a half, 13.5. We also know X plus Y equals 21. That's just the 39 minus the 18. Let's see what we can do with those. We either have to convert A and B into X and Y, or we have to convert X and Y into A and B. Well, we can do either one of those with these triangles here. So we've got this one here. This is B and X, and that is a 9/12 slope. So we know that 9 over 12 equals B over X. So we've got 12B equals 9X. I'm not going to do anything with that quite yet. I'm going to look at this second one right here. That one, I have Y and A, and that was a 3/12 slope? Yeah, that was 3/12. So I know 3 over 12 equals A over Y. This is 3Y, and this is 12A. It looks like it's probably going to be easier to solve for X and Y than it would be to solve for B and A. What do you guys think? Yeah? Okay. No comment. So I'm going to divide by 9 here to solve for X. This is 1 1/3 B equals X. Divide by 3 here to solve for Y. 4A equals Y. So what that means is if I come up here, X is 1 1/3 B. Y is 4A equals 21. Just by putting these in. That replaces this equation. I'm going to take this top equation, I'm just going to rearrange it. I'm going to do B plus A equals 13.5. In fact, I should probably change it a little bit. Instead of just writing that equation, I'm going to do that equation times -4. Why times -4? Because -4 times A is -4A. -4 times B is -4B. Equals -4 times 13.5 is -54. Why did I do the -4? Because if I do my elimination method, positive 4A and -4A cancel out. 1/3 B and -4B make a -3 2/3 B equals 21 plus -54 is a -33. And I can divide by -3 2/3. to get that B equals 9. So B equals 9. That means A equals 13.5 minus 9 is 4.5. So now I can come down here. X equals 1 1/3 B. 1 1/3 times 9 equals X. That is 12 equals X. 4A equals Y. Well, A was 4.5. So 4 times 4.5 equals Y. 4 times 4.5 is 18, right? That didn't work out. Actually, I guess it did. Yeah, something didn't work out right there. What went wrong? Let's just take a quick peek here. That's 1 1/3, not 1/3. I lost my 1, that's why. So we gotta go back up here and do some refiguring on these. Get rid of those and those. This isn't negative 3 2/3, it's negative 2 2/3. So we divide by negative 2 2/3. Gives us 12.375. That makes more sense. So B is 12.375. And A is going to be 1.125. Then we can find X and Y off of those. What do you think? Good stuff? No? Okay. I'm gonna let you guys try one. Oh, let's see what I'm gonna do for slopes here. Let's do a 412, 812, and 812. What's that? No, that's flat. It's just I do a crappy job of drawing. Let's give you that this here is 18 feet. We're going to find X and Y here. Let's give this 42-foot total span. So I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to see if you can find X, Y, and H. Oh yeah, let's look at this one. See how you did. So we know that H is going to be what? 8 over 12 equals blank over 18. Cross multiply and divide, you get 12 feet. We know X plus Y equals 24. If I call this A and B, A plus B equals 12. I know that 4 over 12 equals A over X, which gives us 4X equals 12A, or X equals 3A, right? So I'm going to replace that with 3A. I know here 8 over 12 equals B over Y, which tells us 12B equals 8Y, or 1.5B equals Y. So I'm going to replace this top equation. X is 3A, Y is 1.5B, equals 24. And I'm going to replace this bottom equation. I'm going to multiply by a negative what? Either 3 or 1.5. It doesn't matter which. I'm going to go with negative 3. So negative 3a, negative 3b equals negative 36. Negative 3a and positive 3a cancel out. 1.5b plus negative 3b is negative 1.5b. 24 plus negative 36 is negative 12. We will divide by negative 1.5. B equals 8. So this is 8. That makes this 4. That makes x is 3a, so 3 times 4 makes x 12 feet. Y is 1.5b, so 1.5 times 8 makes y 12 feet. So x is y and y is or x and y are both 12. And that does add up to 42. So in your packet by Monday, you should be able to finish up to number 73. Now I'm giving you guys a stay of execution on the quiz, but we will have the quiz before you leave on Tuesday. On Tuesday. You won't have class again until Tuesday, right? So on Tuesday, we'll go over some more of these special problems, answer questions, and you will get the quiz.